When I think back of how I lived my life before today, it was full with loneliness, external validation, excuses, and loser behavior. When we're talking about loneliness, we mean the emotional state where you feel disconnected with others, but also with yourself. So think about your own situation. What means loneliness for you? Are you the one who isolates in your own house and never really connect with people? Or are you the one who feeling disconnected when you're around with your friend group, even when you are like with 5, 6, 7 people? But that difficult feeling of loneliness is so common in today's world. Many young men are afraid of living their own life due to the mental stigma we currently live in. Men cannot show emotions because that means that we are weak. We living our lives based on what other people think about us and say about us. And it's everywhere. In the news, during your birthday when you're talking with your family and you have made some decisions what is not really something they understand. And even on school. In this way, we feel more and more disconnected with others, but mostly with ourselves. Self-love and self-acceptance is something a lot of guys are missing. And I had it too, for 25 years. Plot twist, I'm 25 right now, so now you know that is something what is also common in my life. But in comparison with loneliness, being alone is actually something which can be good. Let me explain. When I'm looking now at my life, I love to be alone. With being alone, I mean the physical state where I am with myself. It is something what is physically true at this moment. Because right now, I'm sitting alone at this chair. I'm talking alone to you guys in the camera. I don't feel lonely on this moment. I am alone. And from the moment of filming this video, editing this video, and finally publishing it, I did it all by myself. I stopped living and pleasing other people's life. And instead I'm going for my own dreams, the things I want to do right now. And sometimes I need time to be alone for that. The reason why I'm alone right now is that it is something which helped me with increasing my growth, mastery, but most important, I'm choosing for myself. I'm choosing for my self-love. And being alone also means for me that I allow myself to recharge and reflect on my own life and the choices I'm making in my life. And besides that, I'm also loving to walk alone in the park or just reading a book alone. And I just want to say, I don't feel shit on that moment. I'm just by myself. And that is something what is also giving me happiness in my own life. It's really something which gives me inner strength and also inner peace. So the difference between being lonely and being alone is that being lonely is an emotional state, where being alone is a physical state. So you can see it as you as a lonely wolf versus you as a lone wolf. So what is the reason why you sometimes feel a lonely wolf? In my own experience, being lonely was based on 3 indicators: the mental health stigma, the past-future focus, and the connection illusion. Our society has men positioned as masculine, privileged, and strong. That men don't really show their emotions is something which is based on society's standards, and it's so common today. And I did the same. I saw that talking and expressing my emotions was something what was really not something what a man should do. I was building a wall in front of me. I was building a really big wall. what was really hard to get through. I saw expressing my emotions as something toxic. Something men should not do was my perceptual truth. We live in this stigma where men are afraid to express and talk about their emotions. But what helps me the most was that expressing my emotions, talking about my emotions, and being fragile and vulnerable is something what is really strong. It's not something for weak men to show your emotions. It's something real deep in your heart. Why should you not show yourself? Someone who you are. And don't build that wall what I did before. Something I learned in a traineeship which I did recently was that I asked myself the question, when are we going to see the real Ronald? The one who is expressing his emotions. The one who has self-love. Is accepting himself how he is. And that it's okay that someone else can have an opinion about me. But why can I not show my emotions? I'm feeling so happy right now that I'm capable of expressing my own emotions, that I master my own emotions, that I am fragile. But this is the time we live in. Maybe you can make a difference for yourself to really express your emotions instead of putting it away. So I just want to give you my point of view about this mental health stigma and that you are the one who can make a difference. One of the reasons why I was also lonely was that I was always focusing on things what already happened in the past. I was never in the now, on this moment, in the present. Every choice I've made was based on what happened in the past. Due to my trauma I've experienced 7 years in several foster homes, an alcoholic father, but also separation anxiety and insecurity and loneliness. By never expressing my past trauma and always focusing on what happens on the negative moments in my life, I felt so shit. I felt really shit that I was always focusing on the negative things happening in my life. And on that moment when I was only focusing on the past and all the destructive thoughts I had about that past, finally in one moment, I think I never shared this on this channel, and to a lot of friends, is that when I was 16 that I had suicidal thoughts. Nobody could really see it. And finally I went to this victim mentality where it went worse and worse. So focusing on the past is something which makes you more lonely and lonely, especially when you're focusing on the negative things that happened in your past. Something else which can also make you more lonely is focusing everything in the future. For example, I was talking yesterday with my best friend and we were walking in the park, and finally one moment he was really focusing on how he can make his financial situation better in the future. Being worried about what your future will bring, what financial situation you will have in the future, is not really helping you right now in this moment, when you're always focusing on what the future will bring and that you're anxious about what your future will bring. So focusing on this moment, focusing in the present, focus in the now. What is something you can do right now, today, to make your situation better? Just make small steps today instead of focusing and being anxious about what the future will bring for you. So what you are right now versus what you want is something what is completely different. Who do you want to be today? The idea with connection illusion is that despite we are more connected due to technology and social media, we are feeling more disconnected, lonely than ever before. Because many people are feeling increasingly isolated in today's world. On the moment when I still had Instagram, Facebook and Snapchat, I presented a curated version of myself. I was only showing and sharing the best moments and the highlights of my life. But then the moment when I was at home, scrolling on social media, and I saw someone else with his curated version of himself, sharing highlights and the best moments of his life when I'm alone at home, that I felt lonelier and disconnected than ever. It gave me so much anxiety on that moment when I was scrolling and living other people's life. And I was also comparing myself with other people. And comparing myself to other people makes me feel more and more lonely. And maybe you are doing the same. Instead of creating strong relationship and bonds with people in real life, we rely more on text messages, going on Tinder and maybe find there your future wife instead of go out, and to live our lives on the dream of how you want to live your life on Instagram, showing your nicest version of yourself, showing not the real you. Not the real you with your emotions, with things what not is going well in your life. You're only showing the highlights of your life. And is that how your life is? Only showing the highlights and never showing the things, the emotions you have inside of you. So why is being alone something what is good? The benefits I have received when I am alone and being alone is that it gives me time to reflect on my own emotions and feelings, which finally causes a lower stress level and lower anxiety levels. And in this way, it's easier to work towards my own dreams without having that anxiety or that level of stress. But one thing I want to make you clear is that it's important to also have social connections. You need to have a right balance between social connections and being alone. Because we are human beings. And human beings are social beings. We require social interactions to thrive, to excellence in our life. So it's important that you prioritize not only being alone, but also your social connections. But maybe that is something for another video. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video. It was really fun to make this video, to talk about my own experience and talk about my own story and what I've learned in my life. And I'm very grateful that you are watching this video right now. So from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate you watching this video, and I'm wishing you a pleasant day. See you in the next time. Ciao.